Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you. And today are my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of May 16th through May 20th, 2022. Okay? And what I'll do here is, just like always, I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame. Okay? Using my new magnificent trend indicator. And I do that just so we can see what happened this past week. Okay? And then I will compare that to the higher time frames, and then based on my experience and based on what I think is going to happen this coming week, I will try to give you my best, very best analysis of, what's going to be happening this coming week, okay, and on into the future, right? So to begin with, that damn US dollar went up again. No surprise, right? So I was kind of hoping it would go down, but it has been an uptrend for quite some time. All right, if you have a sell trade open for any USD pair, don't panic. Okay, it's going to come down eventually. Okay, I'm going to show you some things here in a second, but with that said, the US dollar going up, the euro, Great British pound, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, all those have dropped. Okay, so anyhow, let's look right here at EURUSD, and you can see this past week that the euro did drop against the dollar. Okay, just like I said. And if we go to the 4 hour, I want to go to the 4 hour time frame and show you something. Okay, it has, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, it has dropped even more, and indicator repainted at a lower spot. Okay, didn't repaint, it just painted another error basically. So that really sucks. Alright, now typically when you have two errors like that, the next one will be the opposite color. Okay, when you have two errors in a row of the same color. Alright, so if we look back in history, there's not too many times where we had a blue arrow followed by a lower without anything in between. Kind of look back here, we had two blue arrows going up. Out here we have a blue arrow followed by a lower, but then it went up. Okay, so that's a very good example. Okay, if we look in the past always repeats itself in the Forex world. So if we look right here, we have a blue arrow followed by a lower, but then the next one's going to go higher. Okay, no guarantee, of course, but I'm just going by what has happened already in the past. And if we look at higher time frames, see, this indicator only works on 4 hour and below. So if I get my Excalibur trend indicator, and I'm going to show you something, let me delete this trend line. But if we go to the weekly time frame, okay, which is pretty big out, far out, it was going to show you that we have a blue arrow going up. Okay, so it has hit a very strong level of resistance and is now getting ready to go back up. Of course, this is very fresh, but let's look at the monthly. I want to show you something. See this blue arrow right here? Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Okay, this is where the price is right now at this blue arrow. Okay, this came in back in 2017. If I get a vertical line and mark that real quick, we can see that was on January 1st, 2017. So back in the beginning of 2017, it was at that point. Now we're back at the same point again. Will it break that support and keep dropping, or will it go up? Okay, everything right now is showing to go up, even though we don't have a blue arrow right here. Everything is pointing to go up. If you go back to the 4 hour, it's showing to go up right now. Look at the daily, it's showing to go up, and the weekly is showing to go up. Now this is all very fresh. Okay, these signals are all very, very fresh. Even if you go back to my magnificent trend indicator, which I have here with a black background, you can choose whatever color you want for your background. I kind of like that, it stands out a little better. But like I said, this is very fresh. and you're gonna have to wait. Now, default time frame is 1 hour, which I recommend. What I would do here in this particular case is if we draw a trend line like this coming down, okay, and it looks like it's starting to break. Okay, it broke this resistance here and is now forming a support. Okay, now Mondays are always very slow to trade, especially when the market first opens on Monday morning. Okay, I really do not like to trade during that time, and I would recommend wait until at least the London session on Monday before you go placing any trades. Okay, if this drops back down, which it could, okay, I would not place any buy trades. Okay, I would wait at least 5 or 6 hours, maybe even 12 hours after the open of the market on Monday. If you want to be safe, wait until the New York session on Monday before you go placing any trades. That way the market has already come alive. We've gone through pretty much every trading session in the globe, in the whole world, and by that time we have enough data and we can see if this indicator is going to repaint or what's going to happen. If it starts to go up, then you can buy. Okay, and you can wait till the next red arrow to close the trade. So right now it does look like a good time to buy, but again, I would wait. Don't just go place a trade right this very minute. Moving on to GBP USD, we see a similar fashion. The price definitely dropped this past week. We see 2 red arrows in a row, almost at the same spot, right? And then it dropped down. So if we zoom out a little bit, we see we had plenty of good sell opportunities in this long downtrend. So if you were to take part in that, you would have some really good profit coming down, down the way. Now it's starting to look like it's going back up. Okay, we're already at a pretty strong level of support, and if we look at the 4-hour chart, pretty much the same thing, just on a bigger scale, bigger picture here. Okay, so if we go to the Excalibur trend indicator real quick, I'm going to show you something as well. If I go to the weekly chart, it shows the buy, and the monthly chart as well. Okay, zoom in a little bit so you can see. And this one is a lot different, okay, than that EURUSD. So we have a strong level of support right here, which we are not at right now. Okay, but we are at a pretty strong level of support because they hit the same point several times before. All right, so I want to make that clear. There is a possibility that this could drop more. It all depends upon the US dollar. Okay, US dollar is not that strong right now. Keep that in mind. Okay, especially with this this month's job report and unemployment report as well. So I have a feeling that the US dollar is going to be coming down. Okay, it's not going to come crashing down, but it's going to be coming down. Okay, it's just a matter of time. If that goes down, then the Great British Pound, the Euro, Australian dollar, all those are going to go up. Okay, so that is definitely what we were looking for this week, for the Great British Pound to be going up. If you go back to the 4-hour chart, here we go. If you go to the 4-hour chart, we see we have a very fresh signal to buy, and it's like I said, do not place a trade right away. Okay, do not place a trade right away. Wait till at least the London session, maybe even the New York session on Monday before you go placing any trades. If you open up my magnificent trend indicator or Excalibur, it doesn't really matter. But trend lines are trend lines, and what you want to do is draw a trend line like this. Okay, we're going to mark this level of resistance coming down. All right, and you see all these points, this point here, this point here, this point here. That's 1, 2, 3 points that line up to make a perfect trend line. And what we're looking for is that to break out. Okay, this is on a 4-hour time frame, so I'd wait about 4 or 5 candles, okay, to break above before I actually buy. And what we've always seen in the past, and what happens probably 95% of the time, is that the price will break up and then come back down. So whenever you have a resistance that's broken, it forms a support and bounces off that support and then eventually goes up. Okay, so all the people buying, what happens is when that trend line breaks, everybody's going to start buying, and then when the price drops back down, you're going to hit everybody's stop loss, or people are going to panic and think the price is going the wrong direction, and then they will close that trade, take a loss, and then it'll go back up. And then later on, you will see that if you had just waited a while, you would have been in profit. So that is, unfortunately, that's just how Forex is. Okay, these banks and brokers want to try and trick you to make you hit your stop loss or make you lose. So one way or another. So I personally do not like using stop loss because of that reason. Okay, if I want to close it in a loss, I'll just close it manually. So anyhow, do not trade right away. Okay, you could wait till Tuesday to place a trade and be perfectly fine, even Wednesday, I don't know, but definitely wait until at least the New York session or London session on Monday. Okay, give it some time before you go placing a trade, and if you want this to wait and break, it's going to take a couple of days. I'm almost guaranteed that. Okay, so it might even be Wednesday before you see this breakout. I don't know, it might drop even more. So just be patient on this one. But yes, we do want to be looking to buy. We do not want to look to sell right now because it's already dropped so much. Okay, and eventually it's going to go back up. Moving on to Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Okay, this one, interesting. Okay, it did drop some this past week. Okay, the price did end lower than where it began, but for the most part, it's kind of riding sideways. Here it shot up, looking like it was going to be keep going up, but then shot back down. So very interesting. If we zoom out, we see we have a lot of good sell opportunities on the 30-minute time frame. Okay, so we definitely had a long downtrend. If you were to catch that, you would have some nice profit going down. Okay, and I think now is the time to get ready to start buying. It's already starting to form an uptrend. Okay, it's not officially an uptrend. Let's look at my Excalibur trend indicator real quick, and just so you can get a different perspective of what's going on. But we see basically the same thing here on the 4-hour. And if you look at the weekly, oh crap, that's not good. The monthly, well, for whatever reason, it's not pulling up the data right now. I had to adjust the bars, but the daily chart shows to go up. Okay, and I already know the weekly and the monthly also show to go up, although it's not showing here for some reason, but it's okay. It's basically the same thing, and we've already hit a strong level of support, and this will be going up. Okay, it's just a matter of time, and you just need to be patient with this one. Okay, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we see that, you know, we had a long downtrend. Okay, but whatever goes down comes back up, and vice versa, right? Whatever goes up comes down in the Forex world. So we don't know. We don't know if it's going to drop more, but as of right now, it's looking like it's going to drop. If I go back to my magnificent trend indicator here, we will see we have a resistance right here. We have a downtrend. I want to mark this resistance right here coming down. Okay, and we can do this on any pair. Okay, this is almost exactly the same thing we just saw a minute ago, right? And we want that to break out. It's already touching this resistance right here. We got 1, 2, 3 points. Now we're waiting for this to break out. Okay, if you go on the 4-hour time frame and you get about 4 or 5, maybe 6 candles to break out, then you can place your trade. Okay, so again, I would wait until at least the New York session on Monday, maybe the London session, I don't know, just to see what's going on. Okay, it might be Tuesday or even Wednesday before you can go place in a trade. Because what could happen is you hit this trend line and then keep dropping more. But eventually it's going to break and eventually it's going to go up. So like anything else, we need to be patient and just wait for a while. Okay. So anyhow, now let's move on to the US dollar. If the other ones have been dropping, the US dollar has definitely been going up. Like I said in the beginning of this video, and we definitely see here the US dollar versus Swiss Franc, it definitely gained this past week, but now it hit a strong level of resistance. It's not really dropping, is it? So it's still pretty strong. But soon it will drop. Now I'm on a 30-minute time frame. If we zoom out, you see we had plenty of buy opportunities along the way. That's pretty good, right? And now we're getting ready to go into a downtrend. If you go back to the 4-hour chart, okay, look at that. Wow, it shot up like a rocket. And if we could have got in on that, we'd have some nice profit. All right, honestly, I didn't think it was going to go that high, but I'm not surprised either. But whatever goes up has to come down eventually, right? If we go back to my Excalibur, let's see what we can see on the weekly. Look at there. If for whatever reason it shows perfectly on the weekly, all right, and if I zoom in a little bit, we see that we have a good signal to sell. One thing to note is that the previous signal to sell was right here, and we're not there yet. Okay, so we are at a pretty strong level of resistance because we hit this point several times in the past, and it always dropped. Okay, right, especially right here. There's a resistance level right here. It dropped, here dropped, here dropped, and then here broke and dropped. So will it drop now? I don't know, but it is definitely looking like it will drop, and that's a very fresh signal. So I would not just jump on that right away. If we look at the monthly chart, look at this. See, we have a signal to sell and never formed another blue arrow. So everything is looking really good right now to sell for the US dollar. So I don't know, is it going to drop? Here's that resistance here in that green line, and this is the 4-hour chart. If you go back here to the magnificent trend indicator, and I'll show you the 4-hour, where, well, I don't have that line, but it's definitely getting ready to drop. We can mark our trend line. Whenever you have an uptrend, you want to mark your support. Okay, whenever you have a downtrend, mark your resistance. And I know I said this millions of times, but and I teach this to all my students. This is the basic fundamental of trading Forex, is your support and resistance. So when you have an uptrend like this, you want to mark your support. Okay, and here we got 1 point, 2 points, and no third point yet. So eventually this is going to drop and hit a third point. Now will it keep going up or will it break? We don't know. But what we want to do here in this particular instance is wait. Just like anything else, we want to wait about 4 or 5, maybe 6 candles to break below, and then we sell. Okay, so officially, as of this moment, it's still in an uptrend. Okay, once it breaks and starts forming a downtrend, then it will continue that path until we get another blue arrow. And if you use a 1-hour time frame, which I recommend, you can get multiple signals to buy or sell. Okay, let's see here. See, the 1 hour already shows the sell, but it's not really breaking that trend line, is it? Kind of. I would rather mark like that. Okay, so there you have it. And we need for that to break below before we sell. You could sell right now if you really wanted to, but the key to success in Forex is patience. Okay, waiting. Do not jump into a trade right away. Just give it some time. Okay, you're not going to become a millionaire overnight. but you can definitely lose all your money overnight if you're not careful. So be patient on this one. Oh, weekly chart doesn't show. So anyways, that's what we need to do. Go to the 4 hour, draw a trend line, and wait for that to break. All right. Again, it might be Tuesday or Wednesday. Who knows if it keeps going up. But you want to wait till at least the New York session on Monday before you go placing any trades. Let's look here at US dollar versus Japanese yen real quick. This past week, we don't have no blue arrow, so it's already starting to go down, which is interesting. Okay, the other one's showing to go up, but this one's already starting to go down, and that's okay. If we zoom out a little bit, we see that we've had a bunch of red arrows, but actually the price actually went higher. Aha. So here's the bigger picture, right? So it's not really going down, but eventually it's going to go down because we're hitting some strong levels of resistance. If we go to the 4 hour chart, we can see, I already showed you this before in previous videos, but yes, this is definitely hit a strong level of resistance, and unfortunately we had red arrow followed by another higher red arrow, which really sucks. Okay, I hate seeing that. It does not happen very often. If we look in the past, we see a lot of good buy and sell opportunities, and you know, every time we get a red arrow, it always drops. Now here's a red arrow followed by a higher, then dropped. Okay, you would have had both of these in profit. So even this one, you have a red arrow followed by a higher, but if you close both of those with the blue arrow, they'd both be in profit. This one would definitely have some drawdown. Okay, that's why it's good to have good money management. Okay, it's important to have good money management because if you just wait, eventually it's going to close in profit. All right, and just look in the past here, we have many good sell, many good buy opportunities. Look at this one, we have a buy followed by a lower. That sucks. And then you close here, you would like almost break even, have a slight profit, but you know, that sucks. So there is no perfect strategy in Forex, but overall, if you follow this indicator, you have a lot of profit along the way. Okay, so yeah, we can take some losses here and there trading Forex, no problem. Even here, we definitely take a loss, but my feelings is that eventually it's going to drop. Okay, if you have a trade open and drawdown, it's going to be quite a bit of drawdown. Okay, you're looking at from here to there, you're looking at 5,000 points. Oh my God, that's huge. So yeah, that sucks, but eventually it's going to drop. Okay, and right now is a good time to sell if you have not sold already. And again, I would wait until like the New York session on Monday before I go placing any sell trades. Just be patient on this one and get in. Okay, you can be anytime this week you'll be able to sell and you'll be okay, because it's gonna be going down for the next few weeks. Last but not least, of course, I know you're tired of hearing me ramble my mouth. US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Okay, and this past week is kind of interesting because it just kind of rode sideways and didn't do a whole lot. The price ended right where it began. It did go up and back down again, so that's okay. But the nice thing is we already hit a red arrow. Okay, so we should be forming a downtrend. If you look at the 4 hour time frame, look at this. Okay, and I zoom out a little bit. We had two buy signals, and then it finally hit a red arrow. So look in the past, we have a blue arrow followed by a lower, but then it went in profit. Okay, so here's that one's good. Two blue arrows. Two blue arrows and a red. Two red arrow followed by a higher red arrow, but then dropped. So overall, this indicator is pretty darn accurate. Okay, so we just gotta be patient and wait on this. If we look here, we only got one arrow. We don't have a red arrow followed by a higher, which is great. and the fact that it's already dropping is a good time to sell. What's probably going to happen now is the price in the beginning of the week, the price is going to shoot back up again and then drop, okay, towards the end of the week. That is my best educated guess based on what I've seen happen in the past. And like I said, we're at a pretty strong level of support right now. It could keep dropping, but my best guess or hunch is that it's going to go back up some and then drop by the end of the week. All right, so just be patient on this one. If you want to sell now, you can, or you can just wait. Okay, I would wait until at least the New York session on Monday before I go placing any trades, just to see what happens. If it breaks or keeps going or goes back up. If it goes back up, that's good, because you want it to go back up and then sell. Okay. Now, if you're already sold, you don't want it to go back up, but we will see. Okay. I would like for it to go back up a ways and then place a sell trade. Okay, that would be excellent for me. Maybe not for you. I don't know. But we will see what happens this week. Okay. So, and if you have any questions at all about these predictions, or if you want me to analyze any other currency pair, I don't care. Just hit me up on Facebook. I'll put a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there first. Also put a link for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join my Facebook group. Okay, and also there's a link for my new magnificent trend indicator, and you can check that out. And if you would like to get a copy of that, please contact me on Facebook, and I'll get that out to you right away. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and let me know how I can help you. Thank you.